Hi everyone, it's Raina. So this video is if you have your sun and your rising sign in Leo. Whoa, talk about a force of nature. This definitely qualifies as that. Leo is a fixed fire sign. Fire energy is very extroverted, very independent, creative, and with Leo over the top. Well, I'm a sun in Sag, so I suppose some people might say the same about me, but I guess I'm a perfect example of someone because I do have a lot of earth, including my moon and my rising signs in earth, where I'm a lot more subdued. When I'm around people who are fire signs, like a Leo, for instance, I feel like the earth. I feel like I'm being overshadowed by these people that are very extroverted, gregarious, very warm. And so, this is one of the things that people will grasp about you right away is your warmth. Of course, Leo is ruled by the sun. And what we first associate with the sun is its warmth. So you might actually be touchy feely, where you have to hug everybody. And so Leo is a sign that is very generous, is very outgoing, and the chances of you being shy are slim to none. Maybe there might be an outlier if you have, for instance, your sun in the 12th house, and then you have your rising sign at a later degree of Leo. Perhaps your sun, indicates that you might, in the 12th house, that you may like a lot of solitude and you might be a little bit more um, like subdued or shy. Maybe, possibly, but in general, I would say that you're the kind of person who seeks the limelight, craves attention, and is a natural performer. So, suffice it to say, from an early age, you may have been in theater, you may have been, if you have musical talent, been performing music. This would be the person who learns guitar and then goes down to the city and stands on a corner and performs. I live near Chicago, and when I go into the city, I see these performers, and they are really, um, they're so into performing that they would do it anywhere. And of course, they might be doing it for money, but it still is something. Not everybody can do that, especially if you're standing on a platform, a train platform, and the train is coming by every 5 minutes. It can drown you out, and it takes a lot of confidence to do stuff like that. But even earlier than that, you may have been in plays growing up, and your parents may have noticed that you had that showmanship and enrolled you in dance or in drama. And speaking of drama, you will tend to create it wherever you go. I would say when we think of the word drama in a negative sense, the lower expression of Leo, if a person is not does not have a creative outlet, they will create drama, and that will be a negative thing. When I'm saying I shouldn't have put it like that was a given that you're going to be full of drama. I don't mean it like that. I just mean that you really believe that life is this grand play, maybe this, and you're the leading star of the play. You're the leading actor or actress in the play. And so you present yourself as a star. The rising sign is how you look, how you express yourself, how you act when you're in a social situation, how others perceive you, how you dress, your body type, and things like that. And the sun sign we could look at as more of what you came here to express. So this has to do with your talents, the light you shine on the world. And when you combine this, when they are in the same sign, there's going to be consistency. Now, in terms of angles, this isn't necessarily going to be a conjunction because you have to look at what degrees your sun and rising are in. But does it really matter when they're in the same sign? I would say not. But technically, it's not going to automatically form a conjunction, is what I mean. The conjunction can just really strengthen the contact and really, to me, promote this idea of your image, based on the first house connection. Now, quite frankly, this combination can be a bit much, a bit extra. And so you're going to have to self regulate, double Leo, because you're going to be the kind of person that could overwhelm others with your natural, how would I even put it, dramatic aura. I don't even know how to say it, but yeah. And the thing is that if you channel these tendencies in some kind of creative pursuit, it's probably the best thing because then you can get that rush that you get from being on the stage in a literal sense. And then you're able to kind of take more of a back seat sometimes and not just suck up all the oxygen in a room with your presence and with and with the way that you act when you are in social situations. Because, truthfully speaking, when you are secure within yourself, you don't need to always be the center of attention. And if you grew up in a family where, for whatever reason, you were not given that attention that you needed or that you craved, that can make you do it all the much more. But I have a feeling that you might have been the one that was the center of attention then, and you're looking for it now. And it's harder when we're adults to kind of replicate that kind of treatment if you got the star treatment growing up, if you were like the star of the family, because those roles of the children die hard. And so if you were the star of the family, you may grow up to expect that wherever you go. If you go into a job situation, you may expect to be the center of attention there, and that might make you actually quite competitive. And if that's the case, that could create negative responses in other people because people tend to not like that type of behavior coming from others. So, really, question your motives as it pertains to how you behave when you are in group situations and see if you are, if even on a very subtle level, that you're trying to be the center of attention. I remember going into this situation where I was, training for something and I was in a group situation. And this one woman became the center of the group. And I was just kind of observing the group dynamics. And I remember this other member of the group kind of like at lunchtime eating alone. And that was kind of my desire as well, is that I didn't want to participate in that hero worship of that person. And I was wondering what makes somebody want to be in that position. And I think that what I'm saying with you, I think that it's just this natural desire that you have in all situations. It could be, I mean, it is possible that in some cases there is the ego taking total control of the situation. Leos get that rap of, you could call it a bad rap, and in some cases, of being egotistical, narcissistic. Obviously, there are Leo narcissists, just like any other sign. And if you're interested, I have a whole video on, um, for each sign and narcissism and how they represent their narcissistic traits. But with Leo, it doesn't have to be that way. You might be one of those people who has always been misunderstood because of the tendency to be quite outgoing, and maybe you don't even seek attention, it just naturally comes to you. Because, truth be told, Leo is a natural leader. So that's one of those things that it can really show up that way. In terms of the way that you dress, I just did the combination of Virgo and Leo, so I'm trying to remember if I think I was talking about it to them and I haven't talked about it to you, but your dress may be very flashy, especially since your sun is also in Leo. You may favor bright colors, you may favor sparkly things, sequins. I just say the Las Vegas type of dress, silver. Um, and yes, there are people who dress like that. I see them occasionally. But definitely bright colors. I anything that is in the shade of gold or yellow, because you're ruled by the sun, and anything that kind of showcases that would be you. And the natural professions for Leo are going to be anything, obviously, in the performing arts, rather than just, like I said before, painting paintings, anything that you're actually on stage. But you might have talent with painting, who knows? But you're very creative. You rule the fifth house of creativity. So that is a natural. Also, working with children. Fifth house that Leo rules is also about children. And you may get on very well with children, probably because all fire signs, the inner child is very front and center. So there's a very creative and playful element to a Leo person. You're being a natural leader, any situation where you're a coach, where you are mentoring people, encouraging people. Fire signs are very positive in their thoughts, so it favors the type of work that you are encouraging other people to achieve their dreams. You can be a workaholic, you can be someone who is very ambitious. I feel that Leo people, they tend to do very well in life because of this, but also because you're very generous and you like to live large. So, in order to get to that place, you have to make the money to be able to afford that. So, there's another reason why you may favor that sort of thing. Your love life, you're a natural, you are like an incurable romantic, and you may have a lot of charisma. So, this is a very lusty, you know, sun rising sign combination. So, all throughout your life, you may be highly sexed. Um, and when you're younger, you may have a tendency to get involved, maybe in a lot of affairs to try to bolster your confidence. I think in general you probably have a lot of confidence, but maybe it's just to have that romantic influence at all times that you engage in these affairs. I'm not saying that you're necessarily promiscuous, but you may find yourself wanting to just experience romance, and so that's why you do it. But this is a very loyal sign, so you could definitely find the one and stick with that person forever. And because you are so confident and warm, I feel like it's not hard for you to be able to get there, to achieve that goal. The one thing you have to be careful of is being attracted to someone because of your physical attraction, primarily, and then also being very generous. If that person is not coming from the right intentions, they may try to use that as a way, use their sex appeal to get to you and then, clean, take you to the cleaners financially. And you may be completely oblivious to it because you're just focused on, oh, wow, this person's hot. And you're not thinking in terms of how they are taking advantage of you. So, yeah, something like that you have to look out for. But you do have a big heart, and that can serve you well when you're looking for any kind of love situation. And the one thing to watch out for is arrogance, a tendency, some of those shadow sides of Leo, the tendency to be kind of like not confident but cocky, someone who is thinking they're better than other people. And sometimes this also translates to wanting to be part of the A list. So it could be a social climber. If your moon is in Capricorn, watch out because you may really want to be like a social climber, and you want that status. And that can lead you to get involved with people for the wrong reasons. So that kind of thing is very shallow. And even if you search for excellence and you want to be the best, nothing wrong with that as long as it's not coming from a purely egotistical point of view. If you just want to serve others to your highest capacity, I don't see a problem with that. But sometimes it's a fine line, and people are actually um, acting as if they are better than others, arrogance, and that makes other people can really feel hurt by that if you convey that they don't measure up in some way. So being always being conscious of the powerful warmth, just like the sun, that you can bestow on others, and doing that in a way that helps them to grow as well, because you can be very inspirational when you want to be. All right, that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.